You know, I know a lot of people that are outraged by the fact that Russell Westbrook will not be a starter in the All-Star game. But even though it's got progressively worse over the last couple of years as far as fans, to the point where they have to have media and players intervene in and nullify the stupidity of fanboys. Okay, but other than that, I mean, I've been saying this for a couple of years. I remember there were a lot of times Kobe was voted in as a starter. And sometimes even the great Wade. Many times they were voted in when they weren't particularly having the best seasons. They started becoming a popularity contest rather than rewarding a player on merit or on their production. You know, and that's the shame of the current NBA fan. They're not really fans of the sport or fans of players. They're generally fans of one particular player or one particular team or whatever team's winning at that particular time. Joe Bud. But anyway, this is just what we see, man. This is the modern day uh, All Star game. We no longer see the very best in these games because I want to know why we don't see players like Damian Lillard more often. It's a popularity contest. If you notice, there's an over representation of the best teams. The teams that are always marketed, like the Warriors and the Cavaliers, okay, you generally see a lot of players from those particular teams. And teams that are under the radar, that have great players, they're not getting as much accolades, and therefore they're not being seen by fans. So what this tells me is that while I like to rant and rave about the stupidity of the modern fan, the NBA and sports media have a lot to do with this because they don't really market players the way they used to. Yes, the league was saved by the exploits of Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and also Julius Erving in the 1980s, and toward the end, Michael Jordan into the 90s. But there were other players. There were other stars. There was room for other people. The media shares some blame with this. They do. It's the reason why 99% of fans can't pronounce that all-star player from the Milwaukee Bucks. I have problems pronouncing his goddamn name. We don't see him. But he's arguably the best player, and potentially wise, he could be that franchise best player since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, or at least since the 1980s. So while it is sad that Russell Westbrook, who's having a historic season, appears not to be the starter for the All-Star game, I doubt that Stephen Curry will do the right thing and step down. He's not going to do that. Even if he's thinking about it, he'll probably be talked out of it by Applehead, Draymond Green. I remember back in 2003, Vince Carter, probably from media pressure as well as pressure throughout the league, stepped aside and let Michael Jordan start in that last game. But Russell Westbrook, already stated that he's not really interested in things like this. Although he thinks it's a great honor, he's more interested in winning and winning championships. But I think when you're averaging over 30 points, leading the NBA in scoring, averaging a triple-double, being a 6'3" point guard and averaging well over 10 rebounds per game, which is absolutely historic, by the way. I think that when you have a season like this, and you're the only reason why your team isn't the worst team team record-wise in the NBA, you're not even starting in an All-Star game. There's something wrong there. There's something wrong with the picture. All right. And I perused the comment sections of various, websites, and I look at the hate and the vitriol thrown at this guy, man, and I'm like, why? He doesn't, I don't get it, because unlike Floyd Mayweather, he doesn't talk shit, okay? He doesn't talk shit, all right? He generally plays the high road. It was Kevin Durant who constantly talked shit about his former teammates. It's Kevin Durant who yelled and barked at his former teammates who were his allies just 5 or 6 months earlier. His allies, and through thick and thin in the playoffs, supposedly. And he gets such a pass for being such an ass. But Westbrook can do no right with some people. He turns the ball over too much. He shoots too much. His field goal percentage is too low. So in the end, I don't get it. I don't understand why there's so much hatred toward him. But, a lot of times when people throw hate at you, it's because of jealousy, or they realize that they were wrong about what they expected. So they have to, in their minds, justify their earlier hatreds. It doesn't appear that the Thunder are only going to win 30 games. Russell Westbrook has shown that despite the fact that he doesn't have a fellow scoring option, which can ease his scoring opportunities and ease his field goal percentage. I remember somebody saying something about, if Russell Westbrook is being stymied because not having a scoring option, then why didn't he shoot better when he was on the team with Durant and Harden? And most of it because of the way that the Thunder run their offense, you fucking idiot. They play a lot of ISO. You have 3 ISO players who ISO to death, and there's not much ball movement. So, if there's not much ball movement, then defenses can collapse easier, as opposed to the Warriors where there's so much ball movement and no one really holds the ball, and that's why they lead the NBA in assists. But see, it's so, what I'm talking about isn't even rocket science. It's not even advanced basketball, science, I guess, or basketball 101. It's like simple shit. But fans are so stupid now; they don't even realize that they say some of the dumbest things. But let me end this video now, man. But the point is, no, he isn't going to start. This isn't a diss toward Stephen Curry. They didn't really say one bad thing about him. He's not having a career season by any stretch of the imagination. But we live in a fanboy culture, and the dominant fanboy right now, the Warriors, and they're being represented very well in the All-Star game, excuse me. And I kind of like the fact that Westbrook's the underdog right now. Being snubbed, not getting respect that he deserves. That's just the fuel he needs for the second half of the season. You ain't seen nothing yet, guys. You ain't seen nothing yet.